The Axeman of New Orleans. In the spring of 1918, as the world fought the Great War and the Spanish flu ravaged cities across America, New Orleans faced a terror of its own. A killer stalked the streets of the Crescent City, armed with an axe and shrouded in darkness. They called him the Axeman, and his reign of terror would grip New Orleans for more than a year. The nightmare began on May 23, 1918. An Italian grocer named Joseph Maggio and his wife Catherine were asleep in their apartment behind their grocery store when the Axeman struck. Using a chisel to remove a panel from the back door, he entered silently. Then, taking Joseph's own axe from the yard, he attacked the sleeping couple. Both were killed, their throats slashed with a straight razor. When police arrived at dawn, they found a chilling scene and a cryptic message chalked on the sidewalk nearby. "Mrs. Maggio will sit up tonight just like Mrs. Tony." The reference to Mrs. Tony pointed to an unsolved murder from 7 years earlier. Were these crimes connected? Police had no answers, only questions that multiplied with each new attack. The pattern became clear quickly. The Axeman targeted Italian grocers and their families. He always struck at night, always used a chisel or panel to enter through the back door, and he often used the victim's own axe as his weapon, leaving it behind at the scene. But not all his victims died. Some survived to tell terrifying tales of a dark figure looming over their beds, axe raised in the moonlight. Louis Bessumer and his mistress were attacked in late June. A bakery owner named John Romano barely survived an assault in early August. Just weeks later, Joseph LeBoeuf was murdered while his pregnant wife lay gravely wounded beside him. The city descended into panic. Italian grocers armed themselves. Families barricaded their doors, yet the Axeman always found a way inside. Then came the letter. On March 13, 1919, the New Orleans Times-Picayune received a message claiming to be from the killer himself. Written in an educated hand with theatrical flair, it began, "Hell, March 13, 1919, esteemed mortal of New Orleans." The letter was both chilling and bizarre. The writer claimed to be a demon from the hottest hell, neither man nor beast, but a spirit fallen from Tartarus. He mocked the police, boasted of his crimes, and then made an extraordinary promise. On the night of March 19th, he would visit New Orleans again, but he would spare any home where jazz music was playing. "One thing is certain," he wrote, "and that is that some of your people who do not jazz it will get the axe." March 19th, 1919, became the most surreal night in New Orleans history. Dance halls packed to capacity. Every cabaret and juke joint overflowed with desperate revelers. Phonographs played in parlors throughout the city. Piano players performed until their fingers cramped. Even those who despised jazz kept their records spinning through the night. One music publisher quickly released a song titled "The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz," which sold thousands of copies in days, and the Axeman kept his word. No one was attacked that night. The city breathed a collective sigh of relief, though no one could explain why a serial killer would respond to jazz music or why he would warn his victims at all. But the reprieve was temporary. In August, another grocer named Steve Boca was attacked. He survived, describing his assailant as a tall man in dark clothing. Then, on October 27, 1919, the Axeman struck for the last time. Mike Pepitone, a grocer with 6 children, was brutally murdered in his bed. His wife heard the attack but arrived too late. She saw only a shadowy figure disappearing through the doorway. And then, as mysteriously as he had appeared, the Axeman vanished. No more attacks followed. No more letters arrived. The investigation went cold. Police questioned suspects, followed leads, and arrested no one. The Axeman's identity remained a mystery. In December 1920, more than a year after the final murder, a bizarre coda unfolded in Los Angeles. A woman named Esther Albano shot and killed Joseph Mumfree on a California street corner. She claimed he had murdered her husband, Mike Pepitone, in New Orleans. Mumfree, a career criminal who had been in and out of prison, was in New Orleans during each of the Axeman attacks and behind bars during the lulls in violence. Esther Albano was convicted of murder but served only 3 years. Some believe she killed the Axeman. Others think Mumfree was just another casualty of vendetta and violence. To this day, the Axeman of New Orleans remains unidentified. Was he Joseph Mumfre, as some believe? Was he a vigilante targeting Italian immigrants during a time of rampant prejudice? A mob enforcer? A mentally disturbed individual? Or was he truly, as he claimed, something beyond human understanding? The truth lies buried with the victims in New Orleans cemeteries, where above-ground tombs cast long shadows in the Louisiana sun. The case remains officially unsolved, a dark legend from a dark time, when an axe-wielding phantom terrorized the Crescent City and the only defense was the healing power of jazz. Like and subscribe.